We found out so much about James prior to the show, which we will dive into. Don't worry. You guys at home, you will know exactly what we know. But for now, we have to look at the game. Sadly, of course. East to west, my eyes now turn to a couple of teams, I think, Rich. One of them being Liquid, just because they've kind of quietly got themselves into third spot, which I think is kind of accountable to Tornado Energy having a little bit of a dip yesterday, opened up the space, capitalized on, Liquid move up there. I'm looking at Northern Lights and DA as well, but that's just kind of the race to the top. If any of them have, exceedingly good performances or maybe a dip, I'll take note. And I want to look towards an RV as well. That LAN environment, I really want to see if that keeps having some form of effect.
Well, Navi had a bit of a creep on the leaderboards yesterday. They started to step it up when it mattered most. I still don't see a win from them just yet, but this is, we've still got 3 days left. I say that, and there's only 4 games a day, right? It is very minimalistic to how much you need to put on it. No, it's not at all, and that's why you can't rely on next weekend, for example. If we're talking about teams that really got to show up today, I'm sorry, but we just can't avoid the topic. FaZe is in recovery mode. We're now into a point where someone like the Northern Lights, for example, all the way up at the top, it's been fantastic. It's a beautiful run.
But Northern Lights, they're a team. It's hard to not want to see them do well. They play a great game. Right now, that's not a great start though. This I felt like there was an overcommitment to try and get Batulins potentially, and there was no information that the Sauna Boys had fallen off this. So it looks like a bit of a poor decision making moment there for them.
Yeah, for me, you should have just left him up on a hillside like that with players lurking. Like, there's no way getting him back. You've just wasted a second play here and instantly lost 50% of your team. But again, with Northern Lights, maybe it's a bit of overconfidence. Maybe it's definitely an overcall. They can afford to have that one game. And you know what? This is why I don't actually blame FaZe going for a 2-2 at this point, because you are banking on it being more on the western side here. When you look towards WS's position, we call it kind of the hook that runs down just parallel of the field. And then even across to the backside of Power Grid, I mean, it would take all hard shifts now to the east to get Power Grid in because of all this inaccessible terrain. You have the hook, you have the ridge that runs around the southern side of Power Grid. At the moment, the east, again, you're banking on multiple hard shifts for it to actually go there. If you're an IGL, you're looking more towards this western side. Pozo, the back side of it, or the front side of it, whichever way you want to look at it, TSM's area, it's looking nice. Circle centralizes. Now, this becomes a little bit more interesting because generally the hotspot for all of this is ETG's still position. FaZe should regroup now. It was good of them to go on this 2-2. It's now paid off because they're central area. With that hook still in on the northern side, eventually it's going to push down and force this out. TE, FaZe Clan, ETG, what's left of the Northern Lights, they're all in really good, solid positions. For TE, I don't want them to bite off more than they can chew with a 2-2 split they're holding at this point. Gustav has fallen.
Wait,
the core finding that one. Liquid on the rotate. Will have been Thunder. Okay, okay. Yeah, I know it was one of the opposing on... Oh, must be just thinking it completely. I've been marking it down. I actually wrote down that Smash has died for some reason, but nevertheless, Diggory ready for the pull-up. And again, we've been seeing, at least on the map side, both bystanders and ends just kind of feeling each other out. Same vicinity. Both of them will eventually need to get in. All this compound area is completely outside towards the blue, so they will have to back off. Vehicles are in abundance. First target found. Rustam Marsh right onto beam. It puts him down. No respite whatsoever. There needs to be some kind of response here, though. Yellow, peeking out, actually gets a beautiful return, and the pre-fire is phenomenal. Diggory read it like a book and sits him down. That's a second one falling now for the bystanders.
He did get third-partied, sadly, Diggory. We saw how low he was. Him making that work with so little was very impressive.
Marco's here first, and he will be able to ward them back. There is a bit of a stalemate coming round. Navi hitting from the side area onto the Sauna Boys. This breach could come through. They're getting 2 to the walls, which is good. Orange will sit back to try and provide covering fire for the players on the Sauna Boys that are inside the shacks held forward. Senya's doing what he normally does, and he'll be the range of the marksman. He's away from this fight at distance. DA have lost one player. At least he's gone down for now. So the pink ponies will take advantage of this one and push on it. With Code Marco falling, that's a big scalp remove from DA. They'll have to reassess the options of what's in front of them. The Sauna Boys realize what's about to happen here, Lauren, with Navi at the door. And Senya still lurking in the distance. Going stationary might not be the best option here.
Honestly, if Senya holds that for a couple more seconds, as long as he can, I'm sure he'll have a vehicle or a way forward. he's potentially ensuring that TSM aren't swinging south, which I like that idea. Now, DA are full sending, and there's not much to be sending to unless they know of a divot or a ditch that could work for them. They've lost Mert on the way. This is horrible for them. There were no options left. This is what we were discussing. There simply isn't enough land, so it's either feed Team Liquid, feed ETG. It doesn't matter where they go, they're gonna be pinched. And Metralius can try and do some damage, but it's all for nothing. Down in 15th for DA, they kind of got screwed on that circle, but it's how it goes. People have to make these hard choices, like Na'Vi have had to, by crashing in towards the Sauna boys. So, Na'Vi, yes, they have a slice of position, but it's not much to play with.
Just how much information Na'Vi actually have on the locations of the players that are very close to them. Whether or not they've moved is a different question. There is one player very much at the door. Good shots initially from Nuki, and at least now has the info. Nice jump through the garages to avoid just being so stationary and open. Anonymous opens up.
Can see their backs now.
First frag in. Minor damage. TSM might have a small issue in the form of... Oh, WS has now actually come down from the mountainside. Okay, so they're in the field. So that issue is removed. That's probably why they held point for so long. No advancement over on the opposing side from the Sauna boys. They're just waiting this one out. I'm totally fine with that. Tab, if he does go down, which he shouldn't, the damage over time will be removed. How much utility do we have on the side of Na'Vi? That's the question in form of lethal utility. Windstreak have made it to the foothills of TSM as well, though. That's an interesting one. I wonder how much that will come into effect. There is shots clearly from Tornado Energy down low, which at least just makes them go quiet for all but a moment. It's all a bit of a stalemate at the moment. I can fully understand and appreciate why.
Yeah, the sort of boys, if they're aware that TSM has Overwatch, they shouldn't need to do anything. That's a nice shot from Orange, very precise towards Misa, but the trade already happened. So again, the Sauna boys still, I feel, maintain advantage, but their approach and their now next step is going to be hindered because it gets tricky to move into the circle. They'll be held back by dealing with Na'Vi. The same can be said going forward. Northern Lights trying to make a move. This is a last-ditch attempt, literally trying to find a ditch, and there ain't one there. Perfectix, and where'd you take this? Oh, that's just not great, is it? No. I'm trying to stay alive. Doesn't achieve it. 14th. So the top two teams going down exceedingly early. Keep in mind, we've lost out on DA and Northern Lights.
Oop.
So look towards your Tornado Energies and your Liquids and look towards Na'Vi because they're about to push this. Just Misa are alive. We've had a couple of knocks coming in. He might be going for a res on Nuki. So they'll be back up to 2, but Sakura's dead. There's no recovery there. Way too far away. And with the blue now starting to creep in, step by step, they have to get in towards that circle.
Redline have been punishing here. Redline's on the western side near the blue. They can walk this one because they have plenty of time. Gustav comes in with a bullet and steals it off the ground. Sakura's body becomes his point. Pink Pony have pulled up onto Shift W. Now the bloodbath will really begin. Initial mollies go down, try and find him through the smoke, but he peaks a little bit too early. Gets a little bit hard aggro on that one, and it will not pay off. I think Killikai may have just run to his friend's, molly that went down initially, and that'll probably been hidden by the smoke. Vampire going down the distance, it kind of helps for now and relieves a little bit of pressure. Nuki does answer back on the tab, though. Pull up coming from the side of Ents. They've gone in deep. They're not quite in the circle yet. This is a big scalp to remove in their way to the circle if they do manage to get it. It has to be clean, though. That's the bigger thing. It looks like Tixu and Squeaky have just gone off. The Sauna boys do go down. Orange finally finds that one last player. Aim low should be easily picked into a Shift W. They are. Pink Pony goes down in 12th. By hook or by crook, Ents are somehow making this work and they still have vehicles. What damage can Quizzy do, though, on their exit?
I don't think much right now. We'll see. Again, it's Liquid who are the ones who could stop them, but Tixu's so close already. You've got Melman there. You've got a couple of others. You've got FaZe wanting to get involved. Liquid might get a little too much attention from this. They probably won't want it, but they found Kemba. Now you can see Quizzy trying to do some damage from the blue. This is that last-ditch attempt, and it looks like he's going to die for it too. He is. Down he goes. Senya finds Iroh. That's the next fight for Na'Vi and TSM battling out. FaZe starting to spread out as well, starting to puff up the chest, look a little bit bigger, try and be intimidating, and they are. Gustav towards Miraku's going to solidify that presence, show, hey, you don't get to walk past us, and Na'Vi confirms that too. Fex and Iroh down, and as soon as the fight started, TSM just got blown to smithereens. So now we've got to look at what's left. Oh, this is uncomfortable. Maxi, you can't elevate that high when you're prone, so Orange just had the advantage by default. Well played to Orange to maintain and realize that in just, the quickest of seconds. Now Liquid prepare themselves for the finish. push, but Clib is just so crisp, but he's now going to be overwhelmed, outnumbered. Two players going to hit the deck, trying to ensure that if they do want to peek him, they have to really commit. And they do. Diggory did commit towards it. He finds him, but now Ibby's there. Wants to trade in, wants to make sure nothing goes unanswered, and they've done well at that. Now that garners Na'Vi's attention, though. They want in on this, and Orange has delivered towards Clib. That's now him down and out. Ibby and Jeems, the last two. So the classics of the Liquid roster having to do what they need to do to survive. Now, FaZe, of course, have considered pushing this, and it looks like they're starting to. Ibby finds Melman, but look at this. Na'Vi have tried to corner in Liquid, and FaZe are just looking over that ridgeline. Do we get involved? Do we not? But the fight in the southwest is starting to kick off as well. Omicron moving in towards redline here. Page had a big off angle, gets denied anything from it. That's going to be Omicron gatekeeping redline. They can't do anything about this.
Vasco goes down, redline, get a good nade. That'll help them out in massive amount. Shift W, with the shift, they move towards ETG, but ETG is quick on the response. Kilyakai, Braxico, they fall simultaneously. Mini comes out, hits the deck, waits for the one player to step out into the vision, and he should be instantly dead. Last-ditch attempt coming out of redline through the smoke. Not a lot they can do. FaZe Clan sees them, and it's easy pickings. Gemty also falls. Easy point comes back, but there is a response. That's huge from Zoka. That kind of keeps them in this for all but a moment. I know it's only one player, but one player is all they really need at this moment in time when the Flames are going to be licking just directly in front of him. Same goes for redline. And Na'Vi are indeed. We can see that one as well.
Yeah, they're looking over
it's
this
just
ridge
it's
line.
best though getting back there. It's kind of scary.
Yep. Yeah, it is. They're just about toying with the idea of what do we do with this. Now, Zoka's still going to play this out as best he can. Not an easy one to play out either. Love the attempt. Good moves. Doesn't get anything for it. Thender's going to find them. We're down to 6 teams. Now, this is a classic FaZe approach. Look at the way they're looking at this. You're going to have Uber and Fuzzface staying as almost a duo, keeping this field safe, leaving Gustav and 8Z to control the ridgeline and ensure safety going forward. I like that. Now, whether or not it pays off, because now you've got some isolated players, it gets dangerous, and Gustav didn't decide to back away or try to adjust. He stuck it out and loses to Ivus. Ivus would love to get a flush on that. Not sure if he can, but Gustav's bleeding quick. Now, as you can see, the scenario begins. Fuzzface and Uber are actually pushing towards this. T-Bone has kept his position, but you can see Fuzzface very much aware of this and quickly dealt with. The SKS perfectly fine at dealing with what's in front of them. And now we have some big dogs in this final circle. Na'Vi, FaZe, Liquid, and then ETG. And ETG still have good compound. Ibby with a good shot, though, did have all those boxes of Ents to work with as well, but not much room on the circle to play with, so options are limited. Na'Vi are very much looming over Liquid. They are just sitting there, holding them completely accountable on that ridgeline. No way out of it. Now, Besto, I imagine his job, yeah, keep an eye on Liquid, but make sure that FaZe do not come up behind us, because they are right behind you. I feel as though you have to use it. I know that's easier said than done. It will force the utility out of Na'Vi, which is maybe the intention, and it depends on how much they have to play with. Na'Vi don't have a lot, and they don't have the boxes of the previous bodies to pick up from. So if Liquid have done this as like, okay, let's force utility out of them, let's try and draw out what they have, those flashes, those, bits and pieces, that's a really good idea, but they still now need to commit to the push, and it looks like Jeems has gone down in towards the ditch. That's actually quite important. Now, Ibby needs to hold the ridgeline, keep him safe, because if they peek over, he's dead. Jeems can only do so much. His field of view is going to be limited here. Orange flash to hand, going to capitalize. Jeems tries to catch him with the utility in hand. Besto now up to the challenge, though. Going to peek the ridge, the Bush Wookie, the big boy on the other side. Fuzzface, here they come, though. FaZe sees it, they hear this, and the execution party has turned up. Fuzzface just destroyed them all. That is madness, and now they know that Liquid is weak. They were already in a fight. Keep pressing the issue, FaZe. Let's get involved. 8 kills, big damage as well. Nice little underhand flash, and this is surely going to be Jeems dead. Does he give it up to the blue? Can he take it on with him? No. Fuzzface steals it away. They're actually just down to 2 standing here, so an even end circle. ETG with 2 alive. FaZe with 2 alive. And I think 8C's even got a good idea. This could be already happening. I'm seeing those proactive Molotovs. I'm seeing this consideration of it. It looks like FaZe has the full image. And yeah, Quept is just giving away the game. Didn't need to take those shots right there, right now. And now with his death, it looks like it's all but FaZe's. And there's no other way to do it. FaZe in their home turf. The flag flying. They pick up the win, and in good fashion. We wanted to see FaZe do well. And this could be the indicator of the start of it.
All my life I want money and power. respect my mind or die from last child. I pray my dick get big as the Eiffel Tower, so I can fuck the world for 72 hours. Goddamn, I feel amazing.